The heiress to Walmart. I mean, this woman owns 1.9% of the company. So she's all about this no kings thing, you see, because she doesn't like the tariffs. And as long as Trump is in office, it's going to be kind of a problem for the Walmart company, right? Because they import so many goods from China. So this whole no kings thing is happening, and it's going on the 14th. Well, she decided, this is her, what is her name? Christy. Okay, so she's not actually direct family member. She is the wife or the widow of John Walton, who was the son of the Walmart founder, of course, Sam Walton. And so she's the one who went out. She has an estimated net worth of $19 billion. She owns a nearly 2% stake in the company. So she decided to get involved in all of this with this No Kings movement. And I'll tell you right now, the company's like, whoa, what did she do? Because this is not good for Walmart. They're freaking out because they know what happened to Target. You know what happened to Target. They know what happened to Bud Light. You know what happened to Bud Light. So now when you have the Walton family with a large, ownership in the Walmart stock coming out saying we need this No Kings Day thing, it is going to be a problem. So she took out the full page ad in the New York Times promoting this nationwide protest. The ad, which is run by the No Kings movement, calls on Americans to mobilize on Saturday, Flag Day, and Trump's birthday in order to, quote, reject authoritarianism. And, like he said, shall we go back to, what he said about, well, gee, if I were a king, I probably wouldn't be having this much headache now, would I, right? Hey.
Several No Kings protests planned across the country on Saturday as well. What are your thoughts on those?
What do they go? No Kings?
No Kings.
I don't feel like a king. I have to go through hell to get stuff approved. A king would say, I'm not going to get this. A king would have never had the California mandate to even be talking to him. He wouldn't have to call up Mike Johnson and Thune and say, fellas, you got to pull this off. And after years, we get it done. No, we're not a king. We're not a king at all. Thank you very much.
Right. Yeah, that's why court's in session right now, because he's not a king. But they're going forward with this anyway. And so back to Walmart, Christy decided that she's going to take a stand. And the question is it really for her company because she doesn't want him there? Probably, right? There's a 2% shareholder. Maybe she just doesn't like him anyway. And so this is kind of all working together. But the danger for Walmart shareholders is that you're going to see a big movement backwards. In other words, a lot of people that are very, very much MAGA, defined as MAGA, and like this president, they shop at Walmart, but they don't have to shop at Walmart. They can shop elsewhere. You know what? They can shop on Amazon, for goodness sakes. I don't see Jeff Bezos doing these kinds of things. Actually, Jeff Bezos has really kind of tried to pull it in, rein it in, right? Here is the ad. And it's caught a lot of attention in MAGA circles. Carrie Lake putting this out, just asking the question, do you shop at Walmart? And I can guarantee you what the answer is from people. They're like, not anymore. I used to shop at Walmart, but not anymore because I don't like what Walmart's doing. Because Walmart's heir, Christy, who is the widow of the man who founded its son, she took out this ad. So I think that there's a real shot. Already you're seeing all these things online. And we've been through this before. I mean, Disney has faced this, right? And Bud Light has faced this. And, people put their money where their mouth is. And if they don't like a company because they don't think that their company is, reflecting their values, then they're going to walk. And what do you know? Shares of Walmart, ladies and gentlemen, trading down 1.10%. WMT is the ticker at $94.78 a share right now. It had traded down even lower in the session today. So not a very good projection there for Walmart. And I think the fear is, half the country voted for Donald Trump. More than half the country. He won the Electoral College. He won the popular vote. And so you know what? You're going to go out there and you're going to slam him and you're going to slam people that like him. And those people aren't going to want to have a whole lot to do with you. And they're going to make a decision not to shop at your store. So maybe Christy gets this. I doubt she does. I think it's just shareholders and company executives that are probably in a state of panic right about now. this king thing. I mean, they just, he's trolled them on it, right? Didn't Letitia James go on and on about he's no king? This all started, and then so he tweeted something out where he had like a king hat on, and they just went crazy. Kathy Hochul, oh my gosh, went crazy, and so then this became kind of a movement. Caroline Leavitt, who is doing a phenomenal job as the press secretary, just calling everyone out left and right, was asked about whether or not there would be protests on Saturday allowed in D.C. And you know what? She's like, hello, we have a First Amendment. We allow for peaceful protests. What we don't allow for is some of the stuff you've been seeing in California, right? We don't allow for that because then that's tearing in a really dark corner. But of course, you can have peaceful protests, for goodness sakes. What a stupid question. That's what I'm thinking. And she said it.
Thanks so much, Caroline. The president warned that any protests on Saturday would be met with force. Can you clarify what kind of protest President Trump does support or find acceptable?
The president absolutely supports peaceful protests. He supports the First Amendment. He supports the right of Americans to make their voices heard. He does not support violence of any kind. He does not support assaulting law enforcement officers who are simply trying to do their job. It's very clear for the president what he supports and what he does not. Unfortunately for Democrats, that line has not been made clear, and they've allowed this unrest and this violence to continue, and the president has had to step in.
What question? So if there were peaceful protests on Saturday for the military parade, President Trump would allow that?
Of course the president supports peaceful protests. What a stupid question. Raquel.
Thank you so much, Caroline.
Of course he supports peaceful protests. What a stupid question. I said dumb question. She said stupid question. What a stupid question. So that's kind of gone viral. But you know what? She ought to be able to say exactly what she thinks up there. She's had all kinds of run-ins. Finally, they just got rid of AP. AP thought it had some kind of, talking about being a king, right? It's like you're royalty if you're AP. AP thought it had the status and the stature and, I don't know, maybe the royal genes to be able to sit up there in the front row in the White House press briefing room at all times and travel on Air Force One and this, that, and the other. Trump and Caroline kicked him out. Guess what? Oh, and that was because of the Gulf of America thing. Remember, they refused to call it Gulf of America and instead kept going with Gulf of Mexico, and it became kind of this standoff. And they're like, you know what? We don't need you here. Bye-bye. And poor AP's like, no, you can't do that to us, you see, because we are Associated Press. It's like they're the king of England, for goodness sakes. And so the administration came back and said, no, we can absolutely, you're here at the pleasure of the president, and we don't really want you here. This has nothing to do with freedom of the press, because guess what? We broadcast these things out to everyone every single day. You can just go on the White House Twitter feed. You're going to get it. And we'll take all your questions. You can email us a question. Hey, you can even put one of your questions on X. We'll probably answer it. The president will talk to anyone. So guess what? You're not entitled to sit up there in the front row anymore, AP. You're not entitled to come on our Air Force One in the press pool. We're kicking you out. And the whole thing went up through the courts, and guess what? The court decided that the president did not have to have AP there. So take that, AP, no kings. There is no king AP or prince AP or princess AP. None whatsoever. We got some more good media stories to get to. Terry. Terry's out doing his whole new thing. I think he kind of wanted to go out with a bang. Apparently his contract was up anyway. We'll get to that. Ooh, Disney's in more trouble. But before I get to that, and everybody's looking alike at MSNBC. I think they're really nervous on ratings. They're like, we need clones of Rachel. Can somebody get me more Rachels? Fox has their thing with the blondes. They're like, we want more Rachel. I'm just going to tell you guys. I would pick the Fox route before I'd pick the Rachel. Right? Guys like to look at attractive women, and women actually like to look at attractive women. So I don't think replicating clones of Rachel Maddow is going to do it for you, but you do you. We're going to get into that. Meantime, Balance of Nature. Stay healthy, take your vitamins, get all the good stuff from Balance of Nature. I do. You can get 35% off with my coupon code TRISH. One of the proud sponsors of the Trish Regan Show, and we love them for all their support. You can call Trish. You can call them. and use my name, code Trish, at 1-800-246-8751, 1-800-246-8751. They get all kinds of great stuff, thousands of testimonials actually on their website. So you should check that out. They have 35% off with my code. They have free shipping with my code. And you know what else they have? Money back guarantee with the code. So use the code, go to balanceofnature.com, check them out, or just call them 1-800-246-8751. Great product. And I'm not the only one who says it. People love the stuff. So stay healthy. Drink your water, get your exercise, eat right, and take your Balance of Nature.